Ladies and gentlemen, Felicity Huffman has started her prison term. 14 big old days. White privilege is real. This came out in the Mercury News. Felicity Huffman's first day in federal prison. Strip search, resentment from some inmates likely. Yeah, there's people that have done far less, serving much more astronomical sentences, but she is a white female, a celebrity on top of that. She's getting probably the lightest slap on the wrist known to mankind. And many will follow her in the same manner. If you think these folks that have been caught up in this college cheating scandal are going to get some astronomical sentences, you got another thought coming. They're not going to give these people no big sentence. They are white. They are in a very white privileged country being sentenced in the same courts where they would throw the book at you. Felicity Huffman is nationally famous these days, both as a TV star and as one of the best known defendants in the nationwide college admission scandal. The Desperate Housewives star received a 14-day prison sentence that stirred up a serious debate about the criminal justice system treats affluent white collar defendants with more leniency than poor people of color. We know that. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's not even open for debate. On Tuesday, the 56-year-old Oscar nominee became inmate number 77806 112 when she surrendered at the Federal Correctional Institution in Dublin. That means that her first day as a federal prisoner was both routine and remarkable. On one hand, she was probably met with a mix of reactions from the staff and inmates because of her fame, wealth, and crime, and a 14-day sentence, which is laughable. So, this is the facility that she's in. It's just club fed, y'all. She ain't nowhere. She ain't in no hardened facility where inmates are that have committed all kinds of bad crimes. She's on easy street in this whole thing. Make no mistake about that. She's on easy street. There are people who are going to fawn over her because of her celebrity status, and other women who cannot stand her because they are doing serious time. You're right about that. So, one of the former inmates, she tried to advise female defendants on how to prepare for federal prison. For Wall Street prison consultants, on the other hand, Huffman's first day likely followed long established U.S. Bureau of Prisons proceedings. She would go through the same thing that new inmates go through. Surrendering to federal custody can be daunting, especially for someone accustomed to a thriving career in Hollywood red carpets. The Any medical issues or suicidal tendencies, according to Larry Levine, another former inmate who is the founder of Wall Street Prison Consultants. Inmates also receive prison issue underwear and clothing, hygiene products, and a bunk assignment, Levine and Coleman said. Huffman's first prison meal probably wasn't lunch if she surrendered early Tuesday morning. Lunch is served as early as 10:30 a.m. and the so-called receiving and distribution process typically takes time. And Coleman, who served 15 months at Victoriaville Minimum Security Camp after being convicted for the fraudulent use of a corporation credit card. Yeah, well, you got a lot more time than Huffman. But Huffman may have had time to get her bunk, meet other inmates, and get to dinner at 4:30 p.m., which is expected to be pepper steak Tuesday. news report said. Detention facilities across the United States operate on the same Groundhog Day like schedule that dictates when inmates get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, stand for count, go to work assignments, and have free time to shower, make phone calls, read, or exercise, said Levine, who served 10 years in prison around the country after being convicted of racketeering, security fraud, and narcotic trafficking charges. Well, Huffman ain't doing nowhere near that amount of time. Okay. So she is going to be housed in a minimum security facility for women. At a camp, women typically bunk in cubicles with several other inmates in a dormitory like setting. But as much as Huffman is just another Bureau's estimated 221,000 prisoners, she's also not. Levine said he suspected that Huffman was able to arrange to surrender earlier than her court order date of October 25th. The early surrender allowed her to slip into the prison with little media attention ahead of time. Levine also said the Bureau of Prisons, strung by criticism over the suicide of Jeffrey Epstein, will want to make sure that their latest high profile inmate is kept safe and treated as well as possible. Trust me, she's getting preferential treatment behind bars too. Come on, y'all. A 14-day sentence. That is just so laughable. It's not even funny. Why even give her anything at all? The Bureau of Prison doesn't need reports that she was mistreated or assaulted, Levine said. Previous accounts and writings by Levine and Coleman and other former inmates describe how some federal guards verbally demean inmates and are known to sexually harass and abuse female inmates. That's because these guards believe philosophically that inmates are in prison to be punished or because they are on power trips, Levine and Coleman said. Well, if you got unfit police, you're going to have unfit guards. So that that goes hand in hand the way I see it. I'm not surprised, and I know these guards are raping a lot of these female prisoners, and they can't call 911 and report it, and they know it. That's why they do it. In a minimum security prison, Huffman won't have to worry about being assaulted by other inmates, but the women could still be hostile, especially if they're doing serious time for drugs and other nonviolent crimes they may regard as no more serious than Huffman. Very true. Like I said, we're not making this stuff up when we tell y'all you put black people in jail for these astronomical amount of times for non-drug possession charges. It is ridiculous. All right, so Huffman pleaded guilty to paying $15,000 to have her oldest daughter SAT scores illegally boosted. Like the more than 30 other wealthy parents indicated in the bribery scheme, Huffman admitted to wanting to give her child an unfair advantage when applying to a selective U.S. College. And we know, many of them were going for USC and Yale and, Harvard and all that stuff. The actress Lori Loughlin and her husband, Massimo Giuliani, were also indicted but have pleaded not guilty nor admitted fault. Levine said Huffman needs to avoid whining or talking to others about how traumatized she feels about having to serve time. Do you think anyone else doing substantial time wants to hear her whine, bitch, and moan about how unfair it is? They do not, he said. Meanwhile, women who fawn over her may expect to get some in return, including money or special favors, Levine said. But it's also common for a group of inmates to welcome all new arrivals, regardless of wealth or status, by supplying them with toothpaste, lotion, candy, and clothing to supply the basic issue by prison. He said they might have to give her some real shampoo. Well, the way I see it, Huffman got it easy, y'all. 14 days is nothing. And she'll be out by the end of the month. I promise you, if you had a non-violent crime that you committed, you're going to be in there for years. Years, many years. We got people in there doing astronomical time for some damn weed. And this woman can waltz in and out of there because of her white privilege and go and do 14 days and walk out and act like none of it ever happened. It is just amazing. But this is how the rigged up system works in America, ladies and gentlemen. They stack the cards against us and they always find all kinds of loopholes for their own. Just like Felicity here, 14 little measly days. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.